Without systems in place, people often find themselves back at square one, guessing what the next step is. And because the habits that led to the results were never fully established, right? Goals will inspire us, reminding us of our destination. However, systems quietly determine whether we ever even reach that destination. So if you're serious about transforming your health, don't waste your energy questioning whether your goals are ambitious enough. Instead, focus on building daily systems that make those goals inevitable. Hi, and welcome back to the Mind Body Method podcast, and I'm your host, Josh Grimm. So just wanted a quick little note here saying that we are almost at the end of season 1 of our podcast, and we are so proud of what we have developed and what we've been achieving. So season 2 starts in September, a little bit of a new format, so stay tuned. It's gonna be really exciting. So without further ado, let's get into today's podcast. Stop chasing motivation and build the systems that propel your wellness forward, right? A few weeks ago, while recording a podcast, I actually realized the significance of this concept in my life and in the lives of my clients. We often get so caught up in setting goals that we forget to ask ourselves a crucial question. What systems do I have in place to actually achieve them? This realization struck me as a revelation, as it's not something I teach, it's something I've had to continuously refine in my own life. Most people have goals, whether it's losing weight, building muscle, improving their blood work, increasing their energy, reducing stress, recovery, or simply feeling more comfortable in their own skin. So these goals provide direction, but after years of coaching, I've come to understand that goals alone have a very limited reach, right? A goal without a system is solely an idea that will ultimately fade if it's based on motivation alone. So what truly sustains you long after motivation fades are the systems you've intentionally integrated into your daily routine. And one of the most prevalent misconceptions in health and wellness is the belief that successful individuals are more motivated than the rest of us, right? And this notion is far from the truth. Successful people rely on motivation far less frequently than the average person. They don't wake up each morning hoping to feel inspired enough to make healthy choices. Instead, they've already established routines and habits that make those choices a part of their identity. And that's what's going to get them to their end goal. Their wellness is not contingent on emotions. It's rooted in their structure that they build. Goals definitely provide direction, but systems keep you on the forward path. So whenever someone starts working with me, one of the first conversations we have revolves around their goals. They usually have a clearer picture of what they want to achieve. It could be losing 30 pounds, feeling more confident, building strength after years of neglecting themselves, or just improving their health so they can keep up with their busy lifestyles. And these conversations are kind of exciting because they're filled with hope. And there's nothing wrong with having ambitious goals. And in fact, I encourage them. However, where people begin to struggle is assuming that the goal somehow will create the result. And the excitement of making the decision often gets confused with the work required to fulfill it. We feel energized after signing up for a gym membership, and we buy the new workout clothes, we write down our intentions in a journal, and that gives us hope. But those moments feel productive because they create emotional momentum. But eventually, that excitement will settle and life becomes busy again, work gets stressful, family responsibilities demand attention, sleep and recovery suffer, and suddenly the goal that felt so exciting a few weeks ago begins competing with everything else that life throws our way, right? And sometimes that just can't be helped. This is the exact point where systems either take over or everything begins to fall apart. A well-designed wellness system doesn't ask you to reinvent yourself every morning or force you to negotiate with your emotions every time it's time to exercise or prepare a healthy meal. Instead, it sort of removes any unnecessary decisions, and your workouts are already scheduled because there are appointments you've made in your calendar with yourself. Your groceries have already been purchased with intention because you have a meal plan set for you, and meals have been planned before hunger has the opportunity to make the decisions for you. Your recovery isn't something you hope happens. It's built into your week, just like your strength training and your cardiovascular exercise. So the healthiest individuals that I know, including myself, don't necessarily possess out of the ordinary willpower compared to others. Instead, they've simply taken the time to create the habit of making healthy choices before they're required to do so. And that is the true power of systems. Sustaining health requires systems that continue serving you long after the initial excitement. Perhaps your system involves preparing meals every Sunday afternoon. That's what works for you. Reducing the decision making on the weekdays. Or every evening before bed, you lay out your workout clothes or prepare your gym bag. That makes your morning workouts easier. Or your system could include scheduling your training sessions into your calendar before anything else gets added in. That's something I do for myself. Or it involves committing to a nightly walk after dinner or a nightly run, or instead of immediately sitting on the couch and watching television or looking and scrolling on social media. The individuals who consistently improve their health are usually doing simple things exceptionally well for an extended period. So your systems should evolve as you do. Over the years, I've come to realize that the systems that served me well 5 or 10 years ago may not necessarily be the best fit for me today because my goals have changed. As our careers progress, our relationships change, our responsibilities increase, priorities evolve, our wellness systems need to adapt accordingly. It's common for people to feel like they failed because an old routine no longer works, but the truth is they haven't failed at all. They simply outgrown a system that was designed for a different phase of life, and you have to adjust. When I was younger, my schedule allowed for longer workouts, greater flexibility throughout the day, and however, my priorities have changed. My career has changed. My coaching has changed. And with my coaching, my writing, my podcasting, my travel, my retreats, and personal equipments, I require a different approach. My systems have had to become intentional rather than demanding. This doesn't mean my standards have decreased. In fact, they become higher because consistency is far more important than perfection for me. And it should be for you too. The same principle applies to every client I work with. A parent raising a young child shouldn't expect their wellness routine to be identical to someone living alone with complete control over their schedule or what it was like before they had a kid. Someone recovering from an injury shouldn't compare themselves to an athlete preparing for a competition or a long run. Someone working 12-hour shifts will naturally need a different system than someone with a traditional 9-to-5 workday. Build the life that makes your goals possible, and that's where things are going to succeed for you. As I've coached for longer, my interest in helping people simply reach a goal has diminished. Instead, I'm more passionate about assisting them in building a life that naturally supports these goals every day, building a system. After all, every goal evolves. You lose weight, build muscle, run a race, or complete a transformation. But what happens next when you reach that goal? Without systems in place, people often find themselves back at square one, guessing what the next step is. And because the habits that led to the results were never fully established, right? Goals will inspire us, reminding us of our destination. However, systems quietly determine whether we ever even reach that destination. So if you're serious about transforming your health, don't waste your energy questioning whether your goals are ambitious enough. Instead, focus on building daily systems that make those goals inevitable, right? The strongest body, the healthiest mind, and the most fulfilling wellness journey isn't built through occasional moments of motivation. They're forged through consistent routines practiced with purpose, adjusting as your life evolves and repeated so frequently that they become an integral part of who you are. That's where real transformation begins, and more importantly, where it truly does stay and last. So I hope this resonated with some of you. I hope that you will find some value in learning what a system is, why you need systems in your life. And as always, Mind Body Method Podcast every Wednesday. Please like, subscribe, share, whatever you can do to help build this channel. Be very grateful. Any questions, email me at questions@mindbodymethod.podcast. And tune in every Wednesday. Thanks.
Thank you for joining me today on Mind Body Method. This podcast is part of Pride House Media, hosted by me, Josh Grimm, produced and edited by Josh Rosenzweig. Original music composed by Nell Balabin. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. And while you're there, leave us a rating and review. It really helps others to discover the show. I'd love to stay connected with you, so join the conversation by following me at joshgrim_fitnet on Instagram and by emailing me at questions@mindbodypodcast.com.